All righty. Welcome to this week's edition of the Business Owners Mastermind Call. This call happens every single Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. My name is John Pyron. I'm the business doctor. I'm your host. My co-host and cohort, Alan Reeves, is on the line. Alan, say hi. Tell us where you're calling from today. You're muted.
I am live from the parking lot of a future Goodwill store in North Huntsville, Alabama. So here we have the grand tour of the facility and the parking lot. Yeah.
There you go.
So I'm telling you, my whole theme going forward as the co-host here is no more regular home office. I'm tired of that. I'm just, from now on, it's glamorous locations every time.
Hey, I love Huntsville, man. I enjoyed spending time there, man. You guys actually came down from Nashville when I was in town there at a conference, and that was fun, man. I love that town. I think it's a great town.
We absolutely did, and that was a great dinner, and that was a fun meeting. And Bill McCluskey was there, and he's actually the reason I'm here working on that lunch or that dinner meeting, and the cigar afterwards did not occur in a Goodwill parking lot. So, you can own nations that I'm hitting week by week.
Your audio is like you're going in and out from a bandwidth standpoint, Unfortunately. So that sucks. But
well, no, this is
all right.
This is the best bandwidth in our.
You're muted again. It's my bandwidth.
Now I missed the question.
Okay.
See, I'm on the best connection in Alabama.
Oh, there you go. It's all good. All good. So, all right, let's get cracking here. So one of the things I want to talk about today, and this call is kind of prepping for a webinar that Alan and I are going to host on September 22nd. So 2 weeks from today, same time, same back channel, same URL. We're going to go live for about a couple hours. We're going to go into a lot of detail on what you need to do to really maximize your business over the next 4 months. Well, 3.5 months at that point. Finish this year strong and go into 2022 with a lot of momentum. And so the very first thing I want to talk about is kids are back in school, Labor Day's over, everybody should be back to work. And so all the business owners I've been talking to, I'm also, I have the privilege of running 13 chapters in Northern California for LaTip International. So about 275 business owners that I regularly contact and speak to. And one of the things that's common across the board, not just here, but all across the country, is this time of the year, it's September, the holidays are over, everything's back on. Now you're like, well, I got to get back to work. So what do I do? Where do I start? And, all the stuff I put off on the summer, my task list is a mile long now. I've got all these things I want to get done. Where do I need to spend my time? Well, here's the answer. And this is like my, 31st, actually, it'll be 31 years in October. So 30th year of doing this in business. And every single September, it's the same. You come off the summer, vacations, relaxed, everything's good to go, and now it's playing catch up. And one of the biggest challenges, one of the sidetracks is trying to get your task list in a nice 1, 2, 3 order and laying out your game plan. And those people that do it, and I know because I've done it, they don't really get started on taking any real action until the end of September. And now we got October, and then we got Halloween, and oh my gosh, now we got Thanksgiving, and now we got Christmas, and they never really gain the momentum that they need to gain to go into the end of the year. It's like a freight train. So if you take a mile, 2 mile, mile and a half long freight train, is your train has slowed down through the summer, maybe even has come to a complete stop, and now you're trying to get that train going again. Well, you take that analogy, it takes a tremendous amount of energy to get that train going. And understanding the laws of momentum is this. Once a body is in motion, it tends to stay in motion. Once a body is at rest, it tends to stay at rest. And it takes a tremendous amount of energy to get that momentum back. And as long as you eliminate the roadblocks along the way, that momentum will start, doubling again, tripling, start to multiply. But you can do little things like Halloween, like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, and all the different parties that go along with that to stop and break your momentum. And so the things I'm going to talk about today is how to enjoy all that stuff, number one, and number two, how to prevent it from blocking your momentum. And it comes down to the number one thing you got to do in any business. I don't care what kind of business you have. It could be a restaurant. It could be selling widgets online. It could be an IT business, a web design business, a consulting business. It can be whatever it is you're doing. It all comes down to sales. Sales, 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 sales. New revenue, new wood on a fire always makes the fire bigger. And some of you that are listening to this recording, either on the podcast channel or on YouTube or wherever your favorite medium is, your fire is probably either out or it's just kind of slow going, right? Barely any heat coming out of it. Well, now it's time to add new wood to it. So the very first thing I do is I sit down and I look at, okay, here's my entire client base, my current active client base. Now, depending on the type of business that you're in, is active clients would be somebody that's given you money over the last 2 weeks or the last 90 days, depending on the type of business that you have. But that's what I would call an active client. And so what I would highly recommend you do, go into your accounting system, QuickBooks or whatever, Excel spreadsheet, however you're doing your accounting, and look at your entire client list. Here's your client. Here's how much money you've made with them over the last 90 days. Now, top line revenue, don't get fooled on that. The next column over is how much profit did you make on that client? Because you can be making $5,000 a month on a client and paying out $4,500 in cost of goods sold and only netting $500. But you can also have a $3,000 client paying out $500, and that's a better client. Okay, so don't get fooled by top line revenue. It's like those business owners you meet in workshops all the time. Oh man, last year, man, we did $2.5 million, and we're so great, But you look at the bottom line, it's like, oh, but we lost 112 grand. So you're a big deal for a matter of about 5 seconds until you get to that bottom line number. So I want to focus on how do you increase that top line? How do you make sure that you keep the money? And it all begins with sales. Looking at your existing client base and sort it by the top most profitable clients that you have. And the very first thing you need to do is give them all a call. Call them all up and go, hey, just got off this call or just got off this webinar. I was just thinking about you. And, the kids are back in school. It's September. What are the end of the year goals that I can help you with? Whether they're products or services that you can help them out with, or maybe there's somebody in your network or somebody you need to add to your network that can help them achieve their business goals and objectives. If you're dealing with business clients. Now, if you're not dealing with business clients and maybe you're dealing with retail or you're dealing with an online store, look at the results that you've had over the last 3 months and ask yourself, what are those clients? Maybe they gave me their phone number. Maybe they gave me their email address. How can I get a hold of them and find out how I can help them over the next 3.5 months achieve their goals and objectives? That call alone will give you a whole laundry list of opportunities, relationships that you need to develop over the next 3.5 months. And all those relationships are just new wood being added to that fire. Again, the more wood you add to a fire, the bigger, the hotter it goes. It's like when you start a freight train. You started with pushing that gas forward. It goes very, very slow, but once it hits 55, 60 miles an hour, it's extremely difficult to stop it. And so it's that energy that you have to do. It's a lot of energy in the beginning that you have to go about doing. And this could equal, I'll be honest with you, could equal 10, 11, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week to get the momentum back, to get the momentum going. Not like you have to do it forever, but at least you got to start, and you got to start somewhere. And so it's time to get back on track with getting that done. And it comes down to this: sales is a contact sport. The more contacts you make, the more contracts you can sign. Let me repeat that. The more contacts you make is in direct proportion to the amount of contracts you will get. If you make a call today, make a contact today and make 2 tomorrow and then 3 on Friday and then don't do anything for 5 days, you're not going to create the momentum that you need to get. And if that's you and you're like, you know what, that's me and I'm not going to change, then, stop the call right now. Don't even listen to any more of this, because none of this is going to matter to you. I'm talking about taking a massive amount of action for the rest of the year. And it starts with your existing client base. They've already bought in from you. There's already a know, like, and trust factor there. They already give you money. You just got to ask them, what else can you help them with? What other business problems, challenges, goals? How can you help them be in the year with a lot of momentum yourself? Teach them everything that I'm talking to you about today. And so the first thing is to pick up the phone and call your existing clients. How's it going? How was your summer? How's things going? How's the family? How's business? And they're either going to, man, it's great. Oh my God, I'm so buried. I'm busy. Great. How can I help you make it greater? Or they might say, hey, oh man, the kids are back in school, vacation's over. Oh my God, I got a lot of work to do. It's just a lot to get going. Man, how can I help you? That's the number one list that you want to focus on. Number 2 is your own personal power base. This is your family, your friends, your relatives, past clients, current prospects, people that you know. And it's the same call. And if you have any questions about it, just pick up your phone and start going through your contact list and commit to making 5 to 10 of those calls a day. You're going to get voicemail. Leave a voicemail. Hey, Joe, it's John Byron, man. I haven't talked to you all summer, man. I just wanted to catch up with you. How was your summer? I really want to connect with you 5-10 minutes this week or next week and talk to you about the exciting things we're doing the rest of the year and how can I help you achieve your goals for the rest of the year. Give me a call. Here's my phone number. You get them on the live call, same thing. Hey, man, how you doing? You got 5 minutes that you can spare. I want to talk. How was your summer, man? How was business? How's the family? What are you excited about for the rest of the year? How can I help you? I have a massive network, and even if you don't have a massive network, just the question, that question alone will give you all the people that you need to build a massive network. Okay? If you ask a client, hey, how can I help you? And they give you a business problem and you can't refer them to somebody to solve their problem, that's a huge opportunity. Guess what? You're probably going to have a conversation with another business owner who has the same problem. So you might as well go out and develop the relationship so you can help your client. By helping your client, helping your power base, they're going to be more apt to help you. So when I get to the end of my power base call and go, hey, that's awesome, man. I got exactly what you needed here. I'm going to find somebody to help you. By chance, you happen to know anybody, family, friend, relative, client, past client that can benefit from my products or services right now. And half the time they're going to say, yeah. The other half, they're going to say, not off the top of my head. And your response should be, no problem. I know I put you on the spot. Sorry about that. But if you did know somebody, who would that be? And you would be amazed at how many people will have something come to their mind. And if they still don't, just say, hey, no problem. Tell you what, why don't I do this? Why don't I find a couple of referrals for you between now and next week, and you do the same. I'll go to your LinkedIn profile and look at a couple of connections that you have, kind of some memory joggers, people I think that would be a good fit for me. I'll send you the list. And if you could do the same, I'd love to help you. Can you do that for me? Sure. Great. Today is whatever it is, Wednesday. Why don't I call you next Wednesday and we'll chat for 10 minutes? They're going to say yes. Now, again, that's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a lot of work, okay? And it takes a tremendous amount of discipline to do exactly what I'm talking about. But what it comes down to is, what are your personal goals and objectives that you want to hit by the end of this year? Go back and look at the goals that you set at the beginning of the year. Here's the goal that I want to hit by the end of this year. Here's where I'm at. And man, you may be way behind the 8 ball, or you may be halfway there. But either way, now you got a new target. Okay? Somebody out there is going to refer you a client. And these are the top 2 strategies I'll tell you from a sales standpoint that will work every time. Now, I'm not going to go into the rest of the stuff that I have here as far as strategies. Those 2 strategies, you don't need expertise. You don't need, training. You don't need anything. Just pick up the phone. Okay? These people already know, like, and trust you, and they will either be a prospect for you or they will feed you prospects. I started doing this strategy right after Labor Day. Already set 6 appointments. Alan and I looked at our list combined. We got together and we said, hey, Alan's got a massive list of contacts. I've got a massive list of contacts. We're like, I don't want to make these calls. And so we went on Upwork, Alan went on Upwork.com. We found a rock star appointment setter that we started this morning. We gave her a list of 200. I think I gave her a list. I think Alan, that list is 275 like warm contacts. But I don't want to. I got other things to do. Okay, I got other power-based calls I want to make. I'm going to focus on my power-based because that's where I have the power at. And these other warm contacts, I'm putting her on it. She's already set 2 appointments today. Now it's only not even 2 o'clock here. So, and she's on the West Coast like me. Who knows what she's going to accomplish over the next couple of hours? But we're going to take her where she's at for a week and see how she performs. But if she keeps setting 5, 6 appointments a day, who knows where it could be the biggest client we've ever had. I don't know. I just know that we're paying her a small amount, and she's U.S. based, and she's making phone calls. Okay. And I think our total time investment right now, Alan's probably 30 minutes. We got on a Zoom call. We trained her on a script. I sent her a list. Thank God. Now this is a godsend. I go, do you want me to load this into my CRM, or do you want me to keep it in a spreadsheet? She goes, just keep it in a spreadsheet. I'm like, yay! It just saved me hours of work, right? So I sent her the Google Doc, and she's just making calls. She's on the phone. Boom, 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 boom. Gave her a very simple script, okay? And so it's all about adding new wood to the fire. Every single thing when you're starting momentum in business is adding new wood. New wood equals new contracts, equals new business, equals new money. And that new money, you can hire all the other stuff for your massive task list that you haven't gotten to hit that task list. Okay. So it all starts with sales. Next is marketing. So it's probably been a while, because we're here at the end of the summer, that you've evaluated your marketing. And so I want you to pick your top 10, 15 customers, the ones that you love, the ones that if they called you on your cell phone and you saw them on the caller ID, you would be like, oh my God, hold on just a sec. Hey, what's up? Versus they call you on your cell phone, you're like, let's send that to voicemail. I don't know. I don't know what they want. I'm talking about the ones that you're excited about, okay? And whether it's 5, 10, 15, whatever, we need to know what bait is working right now in the pond you're going to go fish in, okay? And you get that information by talking to your existing customer. You pick up the phone and go, hey, John Pyron, how you doing? Let's just take Alan. I'd call up Alan and go, hey, Alan, what's up, man? He's a client of mine. Been a client of mine for over 5.5 years. I don't need to make it a formal call. Like, hey, what's up, dude? Hey, you got 5-10 minutes right now that I can ask you some questions, or should I call you later or tomorrow or the weekend? And whatever his availability is, I'm going to call him up. I'm going to say, hey, man, you know what? You know the deal. I'm doing this every year. It's like, hey, I love you as a customer. I want more people just like you, and I value your input. He's going to say, thank you. Then I'm going to say, hey, I got a couple of questions for you. Number one, if you were in a position to refer me to a friend or colleague, would you refer me? And Alan would say,
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And my next question, follow up on that, great, man. I appreciate that. Let's just say you're sitting down talking to the person right now that you're going to refer me to. Now, keywords, you're going to refer me to. I'm planting seeds, okay, that you're going to refer me to. What would you tell them about me?
Well, I would say going back the 5.5 years that you know, in the very early stages with what we were able to do, you know, the plans that we created together revolutionized the business. It increased the revenue by 50%. You know, we're coming up on a different era. You've been with us through some ups and downs. We're about to go full gangbusters in some marketing and sales initiatives, new plans. And the thing about John Pyron is that when you explain it to him, when you explain the value proposition, he gets it. He internalizes it. You don't have to go over and over it again. And he can move that for you on your behalf. He's not you know, the IT service market, when John was selling direct for his own company 10 years ago, has changed radically since then. And John's not reading the same old scripts from 2011. You know, he's got the wherewithal to sell from a more modern perspective, a more modern security focused stack. And he knows that different verticals and different sizes of organizations require different solutions. You know, so he's not just throwing stuff up against the wall and charging me for it. It's a very collaborative and customized process. And I think that he would do you some good as well.
Awesome. So what I've done here, because I'm going to lead by example here, is I jot down key bullet points that he was just talking about. Okay. This is what I want you to do. Jot down key bullet points that your client tells you. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to, okay, Alan, let me repeat back to you what I think you just said. Okay. In the 5.5 years we've been working together, literally the strategies I've given you has been revolutionary. It's dealt, you know, increase your business by 50%. You guys are getting ready to go full on gangbusters. You got new plans, new strategies. And the thing about me and what I heard you say is, like, you can explain stuff to me and I get it. And I can immediately come up with selling strategies that work right now, not stuff that worked 11 years ago. Not stuff that worked 5 years ago, stuff that's working right now, give you current strategies that you could execute on. Did I understand that correctly?
That is correct. The only place that I would tell you you are inaccurate is that 50% revenue growth came in our first year of working with you.
First year. Okay.
Yep.
First year. Okay. All right. So anything else you would like to add to it?
I think that sums it up.
Okay. So Alan, can I do this? I'm going to write this out, okay, in a paragraph or two, okay, to make sure I'm clear on the understanding of it. Can I send this to you in your email and have you look it over and tweak it how you want it to read? And then can you send that back to me? Can you do that for me?
Of course.
Okay. Would I be able to use this in my marketing? Get you some traffic?
Absolutely. I have no problems with that at all.
Okay. All right. So that's client number one. Now, what I want you to do is exactly what I just did with Alan, who is a client of mine, okay, is exactly what I want you to do with your clients. And you only need about 5, 10. I'm going to do this with all my clients. Okay. I have right now 12 active clients. I'm going to do it with every single one of them. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to take these notes like this. Okay, I'm going to write it in a quote, but my little key bullet points is what I'm going to take, okay, and I'm going to have it on separate sheets because I'm a very visual person. Now, if you're technical and you want to put it in a spreadsheet, I've got clients that put it in a spreadsheet, but I'm going to get about 12 of these sheets, and I'm going to look at them side by side, and I'm going to get my highlighter, and I'm going to highlight the common things that they say. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to my marketing person, who in my case is Sonia. I'm going to say, hey, here are the key words that my clients are currently saying about me, okay? Not what they said 3 months ago, not what they said a year ago. You know, all the marketing we did and the tweaks on my website and the Facebook and all the stuff that we tweaked 3-4 months ago, that bait may not be working right now in the market. I need stuff that's working right now. And so I'm going to take a look at this, and Dan happens to manage my website, so this is going to be a godsend for Dan, because I'm just going to hand this stuff to Dan on a silver platter. And you know what Dan's going to do? Dan's going to go on my website. He's going to work with his content writer. He's got a phenomenal content writer, and he and his team are going to tweak my marketing to where now when I'm going fishing in the ponds I'm going to go fishing at for the rest of this year, I'm using the right bait to capture the stuff. Okay. This call is perfect timing because I got a Facebook memory that came up, and it came up yesterday, September 7th, 2009. My son Preston and his best friend David were up in Apple Hill, which is local here in Northern California, at a place called High Hill Ranch. And they have this pond that they stock with catfish. And you go there, and they give you a choice of 3 baits. You get the pole I got the pole for David and Preston, and they said, what do you want for bait? And I go, I want the worms, the hot dogs, and the salami. I go, I'll take the worms. I mean, they're fish. I know what fish want, right? Because I'm an expert, okay? And so I get the worms, and I go over there, and I put the worm on David's hook, throw it in. They got the little red bobber, and I get the worm, and I put it on Preston's hook and throw it in the water, and we're sitting there. And that pond can't be more than 50 yards wide, okay? And nothing's happened. So finally, about 25 minutes later, this son and his father go, and they get a pole, and they go on the opposite side, and they put something on that hook, and they throw it in, and in about 5 minutes, they catch a fish. And so I'm like, well, the fish are on the other side. I mean, that's how intelligent I was. And so I reeled the poles in, and I chucked it as hard as I can across the pond, and we're waiting. 10 minutes later, he catches another fish. I'm like, shit, man. Catches another fish. And the dad finally wakes up and goes, wait, because it's not a catch and release there. Anything you catch, you got to take it to that shack. They fillet it for you, and it's $14.99 a pound. Now, that's like 2009 prices. Who knows what it is today, right, with all this inflated meat price. But I ran over there, man. I'm like, hey, what are you using? And he goes, we're using the hot dogs. I'm like, freaking give me the hot dogs. And so I go back, I reel in David's pole, I put the hot dog on there, I throw it in the pond. I get Preston, I reel in Preston's pole. As I'm putting the hot dog on, David gets a fish. I'm like, crap, man. The dude comes running over, the line that you stick through the fish, and you put it in the ground, you hold the fish in the water, right? And he because I know how to put the bait on the hook, I just didn't know how to take it off the hook. Okay, so he came over and helped me. I'm not an expert fisherman. And then Preston catches one, and then David catches one, and Preston catches 2 more. And here we are 7 fish later. I'm like, wait, $14.99 a pound. I got to go. So I went over there, and $165 later, I was reminded of this marketing lesson I'm talking to you about. And that is, I assumed that the fish wanted the worms. But in reality, they were biting on the hot dogs. Now, how did I find that information out? I went and asked. And that's all I'm telling you to do here is don't guess. Okay, we've got 3.5 months left. Don't guess with your marketing. Go and ask your existing clients, the ones that you love, that you want more of, and ask them what's working. You'll come up with this list. You'll come up with all the other lists, as many as you can get. Highlight them. Get the common ones. You don't need a lot of keywords. Dan will tell you that. Okay, he does this stuff for a living. You don't need a lot of keywords, but you need to bait your marketing with all the keywords with the right bait that you put out there to attract. So that is the number one strategy I give you in marketing. Next, okay, and I'm going to wind this up and I'm going to take some questions. Personal growth. Your business, this is straight from John Maxwell, the number one business leader in the entire world, has written 49 books on leadership. He is the foremost sought-after authority by kings, presidents, Tony Robbins. I mean, you name the person, they have hired this guy to mentor them as their mentor in leadership. And he'll tell you flat out, the number one rule, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. In that book, the number one law is the law of the lid, meaning your company is not going to outgrow you, period. You might think it does. You might be making all the money in the world and you're having a great time and on and everything's growing. But if you neglect working on you, Okay, and I'll be honest, I got lazy the entire summer. I don't think I read a single book. Okay, I listened to a lot of audios. Okay, associated with a lot of great people. But man, if I don't grow, my business ain't going to outgrow me. And it's sad. I've seen Alan and I know a previous client of ours. Okay, I'm not going to mention the person's name, but I worked with the guy for 4.5 years. Took his company from $147,000 a year to when I fired him, he was set to do $930,000 that year. And because his business outgrew him, okay, I had to fire him. I'm like, I can't help you, dude. You got something's going on here. And sure enough, the moment I parted ways, this employee quit, that employee quit. He got rid of this person. He whittled his company from 9 employees down to 2. Okay, revenues dropped down below 400,000. Why? Because the business outgrew him. Okay, and I've had it happen. My second company. Okay, I thought I was a crap, man. I built a company from $0 to $1 million in 3 years, and man, I had limos picking me up at the office. I was going and spending all this money. I was, dude, it was stupid. But that 12 employee company went down to 6 in a quick hurry because I started reading my own press clippings thinking I was all that and stopped growing. Okay, never let that happen to you. So over the next 3.5 months, the only thing I want you to do is pick an audio book that you can listen to, subscribe to a podcast with somebody you really resonate with that gives you ideas that stretch you, find a workshop, a seminar, the webinar we're doing on the 22nd, plug into it. Pick no more, and I'm going to tell you this, just my mentor Grant Cardone told me this, and it's the best advice he's ever given me. Pick 1 or 2 mentors that you get your advice from. Don't go beyond that, because you'll get too confused. You'll get this idea, you'll go down this road. You get this idea, you'll go down this road. You'll go down so many rabbit trails, when in reality you need to pick 1 or 2 people that you really, really want to plug into and go deep with them. If they have a book, read that book 5 times between now and the end of the year. You don't have to read 5 books. Read that one book and take it deep and execute on it. But personal growth, having a morning routine, is the holy grail. October 28th, 1990, Jay Cuccia came into my life. I was working at a gas station, okay? I dropped out of high school, drug addict. I just cleaned up, just got back from the military. Man, I had no opportunity for success. And he said, I need you to do these 3 things. I need you to listen to an audio tape a day on success. I need you to read a book a month, and I need you to associate with people that you want to be like. And I promise you, John, I just promise you, if you do those 3 things, you will change your whole family tree. You'll change the direction of your life. And he was right. And those are the only 3 things I could control. I can't control anything else. And so personal growth and plugging into the people that you really admire and want to be like is very important. Feeding your mind, growing personally. So personal growth. Attend the webinar on the 22nd. And I'm going to close with this, and I'm going to open it up for Q&A. On the 22nd, me and Alan Reeves. Alan's been in business for 25 years this coming year. It's going to be a massive celebration. I'm going to fly out to Tennessee. It's going to be great, okay? I'm going to celebrate 31 years on October 28th of this year, okay? So the combined 2 of us are going to team up and do a rock-solid business owners only webinar on the 22nd of this month. It's free. Okay, we should actually probably charge for something for that, and that way people will show up. Okay, and because people need to show up, right? And so, but we're going to do it 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. The details are going to come out, but we're going to make an offer on that webinar. Okay, and if you want to jump on ahead of it, I'll put you at the front of the line because we're only going to offer this to 14 people. We're going to do 2 groups of 7, and those 2 groups are going to run with us for the rest of the year. There's going to be a private Facebook group. We're going to do a weekly call. And one week it's going to be a strategy call. It's going to be a longer call, but it's going to be in a group setting. It's going to be all about strategy, Q&A, making sure everybody's on track with their goals and plans for the year. Okay? And we're going to answer any questions that they have. We're going to give them strategies, ideas, things that they can execute on. The following week is just going to be a check-in call. We're going to do a round robin. It's going to be a very short call. Are you on track or not? Where are you stuck? Okay? What are you procrastinating on? Questions like that. There's going to be a lot of accountability there. Then in December, the second week of December, we're going to pick a day, and it's going to be an all-day intensive workshop, and we're going to create that one-page strategic business plan for 2022. And only the members of this group are going to be allowed to join this, okay? I'll tell you flat out, on the 22nd, we're going to put that up for $997, okay? And so for all of you that are listening to the recording and you're on the podcast channel, if you contact myself or Alan before then, we're going to allow you to do it. I don't know, Alan, what do you think? Let's $497. There you go. We'll knock off $500, okay? But that deal goes away on the 22nd because we're going to fill it. Every year I fill it, so I already know, okay? But you're getting a sneak preview of that. So I want you to show up on the 22nd, and we're going to go deep into all this other stuff that I talk about. I mean, we may go 2 or 3 hours when everything is said and done. But I'm going to you may not even need to join the group. Now, that's shooting myself in the foot, but I've had people show up to this event I do every year, and they take everything I talk to them about, and they execute, and they hit their goals. But if you're like me, if I don't have somebody holding me accountable, I ain't doing all that work. The only freaking reason I even plug into Grant Cardone is because I get the weekly accountability. That's it. It's the only reason. Okay? I ain't learning hardly anything new, although I am. But at the same time, it's like I know I have to perform, you know? And so highly recommend you show up. So with that said, that's what I have for you today. Everything I talked about today, I want you to take action on. If you take action on what I'm talking to you about between now and the 22nd of September, what I tell you on the 22nd of September is going to put everything I've talked to you about today on steroids, okay? And so if you have any questions about what I've talked about today, reach out to myself or Alan Reeves. Post your comments in the YouTube channel. Send us direct messages. Go to our websites. Alan's website's on his page here, mousecallsonline.com. Mine is simply johnpyron.com. You can schedule a time to talk with either one of us. But if it's not us, that's fine. Okay, not going to hurt my feelings. Okay, but you need to find somebody that will hold your butt accountable so you can perform at a high level for the rest of this year. That's how you're going to keep that momentum. Okay, because Halloween's coming, Thanksgiving's coming, Christmas is coming. If you don't have very well thought out strategies on how to get through that, you're not going to get there. Okay. So, and it'll be just another year, and I don't want it to be another year for you. So with that said, Alan, do you have anything you want to add to what I'm talking about? Any comments or anything like that before I open it up to everybody else? And you're muted.
I was going to say, thank you, John. I was going to say that, the accountability factor is so huge, and you've got to, like you said, you've got to do it for yourself. You have to hold yourself to these higher standards. And I have a piece of paper on my refrigerator door, and I hope I don't butcher this, but, and I don't remember the author's name, but it basically is, whether you believe you can do it or you cannot do it, you're right. End of the story. And I think, what John said is talking about how the business can outgrow you or outgrow yourself. That the business, your business, is never going to get larger than what you truly believe in your core. The image of what you have your business can be. It's never gonna be able to scale unless you know and believe it can scale and take actionable steps to do that. And that's one thing that that I've learned, over the course of many, many years. And John, John and I have had a couple of moments where I said, again, the business has had some ups and downs like every business does. And I might have had a moment or two where I felt discouraged about the way that things were going. And John didn't sit there on the sidelines like, chin up, buddy. Next week, we're going to get them. You're going to do great. It was basically, get your butt up off the ground. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to help you build a plan. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to run the plays for you. And that has been the kind of coaching that always worked for me. So there's a bit of a running commentary there. I have no questions. Just wanted to elaborate on what you said. Thank you for the extended spiel, the explanation. Looking very much forward to the webinar, man.
Be awesome. Anybody else have any things they want to talk about? Dan, Chrissy, or Kay. And you'll have to unmute yourself. Nope, you're good? Pretty good? Everybody knows what they need to do. Cool. All right, guys, go out and make it happen. Enjoy your rest of your week. We'll see you live here next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. for one more mastermind call before we go into our big webinar on the 22nd. So go out and make it happen.